Hello everybody, this is Barbara, the hippie homesteader wannabe, and I wanted to jump in on that collaboration that was started by Heidi at Rain Country and Mary at Mary's Nest to discuss our three favorite things that we found secondhand or thrifted or yard saled or whatever. And so I will start with thing one is our linens, vintage linens. And I'll start out with just showing some, these are not in the greatest shape anymore, but I have, vintage handkerchiefs, and I use them and I wash them and reuse them. And so anytime I find a vintage hanky that I like, which is usually all of them, I don't even have to like them very much if they're cheap, but if they're less than $1.50, I will get them usually. And so I have a nice little supply, and I use them for, wiping my nose and stuff like that. And as a segue into the other part of vintage linens, I was gonna, I've got a bandana here, just a regular bandana, and wanted to point out it's a handkerchief, right? But Ree Drummond on, the Pioneer Woman on the shows, the Food Network, she suggests using these kind of, and you can get them in all kinds of colors. You'd certainly want to use the cotton ones and not those silky ones, but she suggests using them as cloth napkins for when you eat. And so that's my other thing, other part of thing one, vintage linens, is vintage napkins for when you eat. And I have some plain white ones, and these brown ones are kind of ugly, but they were cheap. I think I got 6 of them for $1 or something. And now these orange flowered ones, some of them are a little bit stained, but I can kind of fold it out a little bit. I've got a tablecloth that matches those too. And so I also like calendar towels, and I'm going to insert a little video here to show you calendar towels, that one calendar towel and thing two. Okay, so I'll be back. So here is a calendar towel, secondhand of course, hanging on my drying rack. Come around here and show the end of the drying rack so you can see the name on it, because it's pretty cute. It's really vintage. Check that out. Red Jed Space Saver. But there you go. Okay, so I'm back, and thing two was the drying rack. For when I do my laundry, my dryer quit, and so I've been using this drying rack. I had a modern one that I'd purchased at Walmart or someplace, and it broke. So I got this one, found it on Facebook Marketplace, which is my secret for finding cool secondhand things. So that neat vintage drying rack is thing two. Thing three, and now I could talk a lot about it. I could have a whole bunch of things too, and a whole bunch of categories and stuff, but I just wanted to jump in and do it fast. I am so pleased with this little purchase. This is an emergency radio / flashlight / I think it's got several radio bands, so you can pick up the weather forecasts and the weather alerts and stuff. And this is cool because it's got a radio on it. It's got an antenna, which is the only thing I don't like about it, is this antenna gets caught on my ponchos whenever I'm carrying it. But here's what's cool, is it's got a light, and it's got solar panel to charge it. And if it's dark or the sun's not shining, it's got a crank on it to charge it. So, and it's also got a place for batteries and a place to plug it into the wall. So, I just think this is really cool. I just thought of something. Does this have a place to charge a cell phone with the, you know what? I can't even believe it does, but I'm not seeing it right now. Anyway, it's cool. This light here, I accidentally turned it on. This light here is a real bright, they call it a reading light. But see, it's a, and you can adjust it and stuff. So it's actually got 2 lights, radio, flashlight. Oops, I turned it back. Let me turn it back. Well, whatever. It's cool. I mean, it wasn't real super cheap. I paid $50 for it. We found it on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, nice, God.
Whoops.
Well,
whatever. Anyway, I don't know how to turn it off. It'll go off. Oh, and of course, it's got the time on it and the temperature. So, and the humidity. So, it's a pretty cool little, you know, if you're into prepping at all. And out here, we sometimes lose our electricity during a snowstorm, which we've had quite a bit of lately. Not storms, but we certainly had the snow and ice this winter. But anyway, so that's thing 3. And I could talk about other things, books, obviously, lots of wonderful secondhand books. My chicken coop I found on Facebook Marketplace, and my son helped me get it. And some other tools for the garden and different things to make raised beds out of. And I've just found a lot of stuff secondhand. I love it. I love shopping that way. Most of my clothes are secondhand. So anyway, that's my take on the 3 favorite secondhand finds.